can't. Halloween today, Thursday, 31st of October. I'm Stephanie Hirst here till midday today. But what is the true meaning of Halloween? You know, you might be sorting out scary dress-up costumes for the kids to wear tonight, stocking up on sweets and treats, and, you know, when you get that knock at the door, or you might just turn all the lights off and pretend that you're not in. I've never done that, honestly. Ever. But why is Halloween such a significant festival? Joining me this morning, she's been on the show before, Huddersfield-based Psychic Inbaal, to talk about the true origins of Halloween. Good morning, welcome back to the show.
Morning, happy Halloween, Stephanie. Are you all ready for it?
No, not at all. I need to go buy some sweets for kids on the street tonight. That's literally on my... I meant to do it yesterday, and then I got sidetracked with loads of other stuff. But yeah, my neighbours, because they've got young children, they've really gone to town. And one of my neighbours he's actually put some LED lights around his house. Oh. Not for Halloween, just
in general.
And it's completely fuddled my head. But he's got an app on his phone and he can change the colours. Anyway, he showed me, he was rehearsing this a couple of days ago, and you can see all the lights change, and it's all very Halloween and spooky. So it's quite clever what you can do with these LED sets that you buy for your house or in the kitchen, because some people have LED lights in their kitchen as well. So they kind of set them up to look a little bit spooky, and there's a little sign outside saying danger, don't come in, and all that kind of stuff. So, but it is cool for the kids, isn't it?
It's a lot of fun for the kids, and all the LED just means come up children. So we've got two next door neighbours, and on the one side they switch all the lights off, and not to even try and knock.
Yeah.
And on the other side, most parents kind of stand in the back and let their dressed up kids go and knock. The other side, next door neighbours, the parents are in the back. You open the door, you jump out of your skin. They've got something clever and terrifying that they wear themselves every year.
And they really, we
really go to town.
I spoke to a chap earlier, actually, who's told us that £387 million is going to be spent on Halloween paraphernalia this year.
Is that with sweets or just
I think probably sweets is in there, actually, as well. Probably, actually. But, just because America, they've been crazy about Halloween for so long, haven't they?
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? A lot of people used to turn their back on it because they thought it's an American thing. It's not. It's from here.
Oh, really? So what are the origins of Halloween?
Right. So the oranges of
Halloween. As I said earlier.
The oranges of Halloween. The name Halloween is actually the Christian name. It's All Hallows Eve, and that's when the church became stronger and stronger and thought that the best way to get the pagan population on board with them was to convert all the holidays. So Eostra became Easter.
Easter.
Yeah, a little similarity there in the name. Yule became Christmas, and Samhain became Halloween. So Samhain is a shortening of the words summer's wane. And it's what the festival is called in the Celtic languages. Okay. So in Irish, Scottish, possibly even Welsh. I haven't looked into it. I saw a very funny meme on Twitter that said that it's pronounced Samhain in Scottish and no, it's a funny. And Samhain in Irish and pumpkin spice in American. But the origins, and that's when it is a bit gory, are that this is the time of the meat harvest, because we're talking about a farmer society. What they ate is what they grew. So in the springtime at Beltane, the 1st of May, that's when you've got the fruit harvest. You get the fruits and vegetables and later on in the summer. The September festivals, August, September, are the time of the grain harvest.
Yeah, so Harvest Festival, of course.
Exactly. Yeah. And then if you're going to have meat at winter, you slaughter it now. It's the time of the meat harvest, and that is why it's associated with death, because you take the animals to the slaughter, and this is when you salt and chill them and do whatever people need to do for meat for it to survive. And it is related to death because of the death of the animals.
Okay.
But, of course, we're a farmer society, so we want to celebrate everything. We're celebrating the fact that we're not going to starve in winter, and we're also using the link to death to honour the dead. So I'm sure you've got people in your past that have gone over to the other side who you still have affection for, you still have a relationship with.
Yeah, my mum, of course. So, yeah, 6 years ago she left us. And it's weird, actually. I get white feathers around the house.
All right.
And I've got on my mantelpiece at home, I've got a picture, a black and white photo of my mum and dad on their engagement day. And I've got both of their wedding rings. And the feather that fell in front of the actual photo frame about 2 years ago, it was just in front of it.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit spooky.
Yeah, and you were thinking nothing feathered entered here.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, exactly. And then my mum's ring is sat on top of the feather. So that sits in my living room. So,
yeah. And just earlier I heard that you had someone who was telling about smelling their mum's perfume.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very common way for the other side to communicate with us with things that might not be too scary. Because they're not here to terrify us, but sending us a little comforting message.
I probably get the smell of hairspray with my mother, because literally she was like, I spent my life dodging hairspray cans that were heading in my direction, and her just in front of the mirror, just lathering her hair up in inset or whatever.
Yeah, and for some people it'll be the smell of their grandmother's cooking. If it was sort of very cocoa-y or very coconutty.
It was just a chip pan with my nan, to be honest. She cooked all sorts of stuff in it.
Yeah,
literally. Eggs, sausages, chips, beans.
Everything.
Oh, you name it went in that chip pan.
Everything. So you've got one symbolising the lovely dry hair look and one symbolising the exact opposite.
Well, exactly, yeah. So the dressing up as well, how has that come into the world of Halloween?
I would say that has to do with linking it with the Day of the Dead. Do you know the Mexican Day of the Dead? It's a very specific aesthetic with those sort of floral white eyes and the very freaky sort of toothy smiles. The Mexicans have always celebrated the Day of the Dead. And in fact, my best friend from school, her mom grew up in Mexico, and she used to tell us stories that you'd buy a sugar skull with your name on it. And we thought that was hilarious. Why would you celebrate death? But that is exactly why. So the link with the meat harvest to death, to honouring the dead, to having the dead walk amongst us. And really, if the dead were to come back and walk amongst us, no one would notice them in Halloween. They could just walk through the streets. A Wiccan tradition for Halloween, Wicca is the religion of witchcraft, so more the spiritual practices. A Wiccan tradition is to have a feast with the dead, so to set an extra chair for granddad, for mum at the dinner table, and to invite them to come and dine with us.
But what do you say to people who say this is a load of mumbo jumbo? You know, 99% of people might say they don't believe in any of this. It's a load of mumbo jumbo.
Do you know, I think when you're very young and you know everything, you will poo-poo a whole bunch of stuff. But as you get older and as you lose more people, first of all, you've got the need for comfort, for knowing that there's something on the other side. But you'll also have had stuff happen to you. The older you are, the more stuff you will have seen happen that can't be explained. So that feather story that you've got.
Yeah, my mum, yeah.
Yeah. For me, when I first met my husband, I remember sort of just seeing a glimpse of my granddad, who was long gone by then, and he gave me a nod for him. And I was like, really? The ginger accountant guy? And my granddad gave a very solemn nod. So I don't think there's anything wrong in not believing in anything. It probably just means that you haven't experienced that much death and disaster in your life. Once you've been through the ringer a few times, you open your mind that there might be a little something out there, and maybe you don't know everything.
What are you doing to celebrate tonight?
I'm going trick-or-treating. I've got 4 kids. I've got 4 kids. We've got hand-me-down costumes going between the boys, and the girl is getting her 3rd year's use out of a single witch's dress.
Really?
I'm really big on the face paint. Yeah. I think when the face is nice and spooky and you've got like the blood blotches, so they're very excited, and it's probably the first time that the little one will know that that there's something going on with the trick-or-treating. I'd brought a couple of interesting things that witches would do, or that I would do if I still happen to be awake after all the trick-or-treating. We've got a censer of incense that we light. This baggie is raw incense as opposed to joss. So what you're seeing is little grains of amber, frankincense, little bits of lavender. So you light it, and it goes
And
very
that's-
beautiful and smoky to commune with the other side. My mum passed as well, my granddad, and so on. I've got a little bottle of mixed essential oils that could be for a lovely Halloween bath. So you could ask for images and visions to come to you. And I also brought in my wand. It's not very Halloweeny, but it's so awesome, and I made it myself, so I'll bring it everywhere. It's my disco wand.
Oh, you've got some glitter and well, kind of like sparkle on the end of it. And
That's
this is
right.
what this you'll be burning this in your house tonight.
Yes, these are things that are very hardcore Wiccan. It's something that everyone will have. The censer of incense, I can show you, looks a little bit like an Aladdin's lamp, but much dirtier. And it's because when you use it, it's too hot to clean it.
Well, of course, yeah. So you can't slap it in the dishwasher, can you? I guess.
I think I actually did once, but it didn't come out any cleaner.
West Yorkshire Travel.
BBC Radio Leeds.
Inbaal, thank you so much for coming on today to tell us about the origins of Halloween, and have a great Halloween tonight as
Thank
well
you
with the
so
kids.
much.
Take
You
care.
too.
Thank you so much.
Ta.
Inbaal from Huddersfield telling us about the origins of Halloween. Right.